Okay, welcome to our tutorial on service graph. We're going to go through some services and we're going to build them up into a service graph on the canvas and attach them to a business service, and we'll see how that impacts what happens when one of those services have an incident. So I'm going to start with my Fabulous Shop business service. It is sort of here all by itself. It doesn't have any dependencies, and that's where we're going to start. So my dependencies go in two directions. I can have services that the current service I'm looking at use, and I have the ability to also make the current service noted to be used by another service. Usually your business services are kind of the top level of the architecture, and you'll be able to see that when we get into the canvas and the drawing. And they'll have lots of back-end services that they are dependent upon, but you can have relationships between business services as well. So I'm going to add one back-end service here to start, and then I'm going to build out basically an end level architecture for my Fabulous Shop. So I have the front end is kind of the incoming doorway for all of my users, and that's going to be the first part that I add. So let's see what that looks like on the graph. All right, here's my service graph canvas. My business services are going to be rectangular or square, depending on what the view is doing. And then my technical services are going to be oval or circular. And you can see the relationship here is indicated by an arrow. That indicates the dependency flows from the shop front end to the Fabulous Shop business service. If I click on the technical service, I have a bunch of information that pops up on the right-hand side. There's currently no open incidents on this service. We have the on-call configuration for this service right now, and then I can click straight to the service profile or service dependencies. I'm going to add some additional dependencies to this architecture, so that's where I'm going to click now. When I get to the service configuration for Fabulous Shop front end, you'll see that service dependencies shows up here in the middle as a tab for the configuration. So there's activity, custom fields, integration, workflow settings, and finally service dependencies. Now the system will make some suggestions if you want to follow those, but I am going to click on that. And these are actually the ones that I am going to add to this particular front end. So I have a search service, and I have a shopping cart in my architecture. So we're going to add those. Is it going to let me add it? Yes, there we go. So now I have two dependencies that my Fabulous Shop front end uses. As we look at how that expands on the canvas, we now see these two additional services that show up, they flowing into the front end. As I scroll in, scroll out, shapes change, and you can take a look at that. All right. As I continue to build out my architecture here, I have a couple of additional dependencies I'm going to add. One is a caching layer for the search service, and then we have a database. So we're going to add those quick, and then we can see what else is here. See if it's recommending anything here. Nope, that's not what I want. Search caching. And from here, I can click to the service configuration. I'm going to, this one needs to talk to the database. Nope, that's not the suggestion, so we'll add it here. Yeah. Now the database also has dependency for shopping cart, so we're going to add that as well. Okay, so now we should be complete. So let's look at it as the drawing here. Okay, so I have my database in the back end. I have its two downstream dependencies, search caching, and my shopping cart. And we can move these around if that makes it easier for you to see them. I have my search service, then the front end, and then finally the business service. You'll see up here in the corner, there's a little place for alerts to arrive. So right now I'm looking at service graph. There are 0 things impacted by incidents. Let's change that. So I'm going to go into the database and I'm going to declare an incident. We're just going to test it. We'll say it's high urgency, it's a P2, and we'll create that incident. And now I've got like Slack notifications and my phone is doing things, and all kinds of stuff is happening. Now, what we want to see though is what this looks like for my business services that we just set up. So I'm going to go back to business services. And we see on the list that Fabulous Shop is impacted by something. It has a little red triangle beside it. And I'm going to click on it, and a card pops up for the incident that was triggered on the database. Because the database lives in the architecture of dependencies behind the Fabulous Shop business service, we can note that the Fabulous Shop business service is impacted by that incident without having to do anything additional. All we've done is create the relationships and declare the incident, and that bubbles up. So that anybody that says, oh, there's something weird with the shop, they don't have to know that, oh, there's a problem on the database, the queries are slow or something's happening. They just have to know from the pages that, oh, yes, there is actually something going on with Fabulous Shop. If we look on the service graph, it also shows up here. So business service here in the rectangle shows a P2, has an orange header. If you declare a P1, it's red. If you declare a lower, P3, P4, P5, it shows up yellow. And back here on the database, there's my little alert, and it lets me know where things are if I click into the service graph. For folks who are, say, product owners or otherwise tangential to the technical team, this is very helpful for helping them find out, okay, what is going on? I'm seeing a problem. Users are seeing a problem. Where is it? And then that, in that place, then that leads them to what does the incident response currently look like? Because they can go to the incident page and see the channel in your chat ops that you are looking at. Maybe I've got a dedicated channel for it. If you've got a conference call started, who are the responders? Where are these things happening? Those folks can know what's going on so they can follow along as well. In addition, anyone who was subscribed to the business service was also notified of this problem. So those folks that I added, that you might have added to the business services subscribers, they will have also seen that. So now I'm going to resolve this. It's going to clear everything up on the service itself and on the business service. And everything is clear. There we go. Everything is green. So putting these together can take some time. You can do it with the API. There are relationships that you can set up using the API there. You can set them up using Terraform. This is just the web UI click through. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at community.pagerduty.com. We would love to hear from you if you are using these and think it's great, or if there are things that you think are missing, or you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. So thanks. Thanks for joining us for this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, or you'd like to send us some feedback, you can join us on the PagerDuty forums at community.pagerduty.com. We would love to hear from you. If you like this part of our product and have good experience with it, give us a shout. If you have any other questions or comments, please let us know. In the meantime, we'll wish you an uneventful day.